hope you guys had a great holidays. You know what I mean? Right now is the New Year's, the first day of New Year's. And of course, there are so many things to talk about in the new year. Thank you to all my fans, all my audience, those who watched my videos, commented on my videos, those who stream my content as well. I thank you guys for all the support. Now, today's topic, I will be talking about president or influencer, who is more important and who is more influential in today's society. And of course, in many ways, there are also, you know, benefits of presidents and, benefits of influencers. So, of course, we all know about presidents. We know the process to become a president is not a walk in the park. It's difficult day by day. And to become a president, you have to start preparing, right, at a young age. You have to pass certain tests. You have to basically be educated, very educated. And on top of that, your image has to be pure, squeaky clean, even if you did some dirt, right? But that dirt cannot be uncovered while you're running for campaign. And the people in the entire country, right, that you want to become president, majority of the people have to vote for you. So people have to enjoy and like you. So to become a president is very difficult. You see what I'm saying? It's nearly impossible to become unless you are connected in, you know, in a higher organization. And so, of course, we know the process. Here in Canada, we have a prime minister, we don't have a president, but the same process of becoming a prime minister is also the same process of becoming a president. They just call it different, right? And it's very difficult. You have to be sophisticated, you have to be intellectual, you have to also be political in a way where you're not going to get yourself in trouble, as well as the people that, you what's it called, helping you. So this process is one of the most difficult process in the entire world, right? And so that's one thing. That's becoming a president. We know the benefits is you get secret service, you get protection, you and your family members, in immediate family members get, protection from the time you run for elections. If you run two campaigns or 2 years back to back, you get that. And after you you're finished running at the office until you die, basically, which is, in a way good for you, because if you, when you're running for presidency, right, there's not going to be people who like you. Even the laws that you put in place, obviously, is going to be difficult, right, for some people. For some, it'll be good, but for others, it might not. And because of this, you can develop enemies, not only just within the country, but outside of the country as well. So it's necessary for that. And then we have influencers. Influencers are people who, could be your average Joe. And so what happens is, it just depends on how creative the individual is, how entertaining the individual is, how unique, what kind of message the individual is processing throughout society. Is it a positive message? Is he helping other people? You see what I'm saying? So there are so many things that helps you to become an influencer, but you have to have a lot of support, a lot of donations, because it costs millions of dollars. There has been known, like Obama, right, spend $1 billion to run to run for office. So they spend a lot of money. Influencers spend money for marketing and campaigns and all these things, as well as presidents. But presidents spend way more money running for one single campaign than how much an influencer would probably use in their entire career. And so that is the difference. It's very hard to become a president, and it's very easy to become an influencer if you have the confidence and you push, right? But to become a president, one little mistake can cost your office run. You see what I'm saying? If you say something wrong, if you said something wrong in the past, that will be brought forward to you. So basically, to become a president, they will basically scrutinize every part of your life in order to ensure, because you're running against other people, and other people obviously have their own interests. And if you go against their interests, then obviously they will take action towards you. And so safety is key, right? But influencers, celebrities, they have security and so forth. But if you're an influencer, not all of them, right? Not all of them that are even high profile influencers have bodyguards. They live more peaceful, they live more expressive, right? President, you have to watch your tone. You have to be more disciplined. You can't be only probably Donald Trump didn't follow the criteria of presidency. And he was a social media um like social media person, where he was known on Twitter, and you know eventually he got banned from Twitter, right? Due to the ending of his office run, whatever problems that they had. But he had a, a following. He tweeted a lot more than others. So in a way, Donald Trump was a influencer president. He was the first celebrity president. And so we discovered that Donald Trump did a lot, right? A lot of people might hate him. They might think, oh, he's this, he's that. But out of all the other presidents, he probably did the most for a lot of people. And so people don't agree, right? Some people are going to agree, some people are not going to agree. But if somebody does something good, just because they didn't do well with you, doesn't mean they're not good. And so if he didn't do a good job, there wouldn't be so many people this day and age still saying, Donald Trump is good. He helped this, he did that. And so that was the first, right, influencer president. Did a great job. Second time in the office, Joe Biden won, and now we have a different president, right? But obviously, president, prime minister, they are the same in many ways because they do the same job. They have the same authorities, right? But just president, in some ways, just have a little bit more based on, the power levels, right? But other than that, they're pretty much the same. So, I mean, I know today, majority of the people are where? They're on social media. If they're not watching YouTube, they're watching Facebook. If they're not watching Facebook, they're watching Instagram, you know, TikTok. Just basically, they're watching, and social media, right, is active on a daily basis. The whole entire life is there. That's why they came up with the metaverse. So who is going to be more powerful? Because the metaverse is full of influencers, right? Social media is the next world that has created for the virtual mind. And so you need your energy in order for you to be able to obviously progress. So that is a major platform where a lot of people have started to buy land in the metaverse. They have bought resources. They're getting set up, in the metaverse, because eventually people are going to go into the metaverse, and what are they going to do? That's where they're going to have their fun. That's where they're going to have their enjoyment, right? So, metaverse gives an even greater platform than Earth to influencers. So, I think the future is influencers of society. We had had so much different leaders, right? But there is a lot of, you know, you can't speculation that these leaders, how they get into power. Sometimes they rig the elections. They had difficulties on Facebook understanding the elections, thinking that other countries involved, tampering with the voting and all kinds of things were coming up. But to be an influencer, you just have to be by yourself. It could be free to change one's life. And I think, right, the original movement of a human being is to influence, right? It doesn't matter how much videos you make. It doesn't really matter how much money you make. What matters is how many lives have you changed? You understand? Because we seem to focus on the small detail rather than looking at the bigger picture. What is the message that's being processed or programmed to you on your devices that you are watching on a daily basis, right? If you're not on your phone, you're on your computer. If you're not on your computer, you're on your laptop, your iPad, some type of device that what's it called, retrieves information, digital information, whether it's video, audio, you know, email, it doesn't matter. But you're retrieving information to help you to capitalize on the things them that you want to do, or the things that you want to find out. This is unique in many ways because Google search engines, right, and YouTube, when they collaborate, right, those two search engines, when you combine the two and use them on a regular basis, you could practically find out any kind of information that you think of. And now we have a new Neuralink technology that is going to be embedded in the iPhone. What I'm trying to say to you is the technology that is being brought into society, that is being used, is going to be used by influencers, is going to be able to read minds, right? If it could read your mind, then what is next? You see what I'm saying? Because all of these things are influencers creating it. Elon Musk is an influencer. He's not the president, right? Now you tell me, Kanye West is an influencer. Everybody that creates content, that pushes it out and pushes, whether it's positive message, whether it's negative message, regardless of any form, as long as it follows guidelines and it's on there, regardless of how much views, because people will look at views and say, well, you're not very popular. How could you influence people? To influence, you only need one person. You want to be good, you want to pass on your true knowledge. it has to affect other people in a positive way. The world is not the same anymore, right? People have grown to be cold in many ways. Think about it, right? There's people that have the impact to solve crisis, right? Right at the tip of their fingers. You know what I mean? But they don't choose to do that because they're caught up in who they might step on. You know, I never thought that to influence, to change people, there's protocols to, you know, how well you should do the job, right? And so society today are very, very much in tune with more influencers. President take long time, years to get to that level. But when they become an influencer, right, they get known very quickly, whether it's good or not, because there's people that don't like people. That is true. But there's also people that like what the influencer is doing. Take it for example, TikTok. TikTok came and it was trending last year hard. It's still one of those platforms that is steadily climbing. See what I'm saying? Look at YouTube. Now YouTube is known everywhere on this earth and it's full of influencers, right? YouTube probably makes more money than all the movie industry combined, right? Because they're geniuses that they put this together for others to be able to express their skills. So that is unique in a whole. And life, you must change. God came, right? Jesus Christ came on this earth to influence, and now his name is still trending. His name trends every single day, right? He came in the times when there was no invention of TVs or anything like that. It was basic. And they were carrying their messages in books, in tablets. And so now we know what Jesus Christ came to earth to do. All the other leaders, right? You think about it. You see what I'm saying? Muhammad, right? He's a Muslim man. Prophet Muhammad, right? That's what he is called. What did he do? He was also an influencer. He influenced society. You see what I'm saying? The Pope that you see, he is also an influencer. And so, yes, presidents are influencer, but who is more flexible, right? And to get to those other positions is it's way easier. Well, the Pope, you know, it's probably more difficult to become a Pope than a president. So, okay, exceptional of that. But, right, the rest, well, not the rest, but for the most part, you see what I'm saying? It's a lot easier to be an influencer than a president. And it's more difficult to be a president than an influencer because presidents are not allowed to make mistakes. They're looked upon like they cannot make mistakes, period. But influencers, right? It's not so strict because, I mean, you could have good content, you can have okay, not so good, but same way you are expressing your creativity or, you know, to the world. You're infringing your skills onto others, right? On a daily basis if you choose to do that. So thank you for listening to my segment, right? At the end of the day, you can let me know which one you think has more power. I think influencers, I think it's cheaper to become an influencer, is not so expensive as the president to run for an election. You need millions of dollars off the bat. You need a lot of support. And even after that, you cannot guarantee yourself a success. The nation has to declare that. So it's more thought of. But to become an influencer, become unique, to become creative, all you need is just a device with Wi Fi and a connectivity to all the platforms, and you can start doing that. So I encourage you to understand that power, the way power was transmitted before, has become easier with new levels of artists, new level of creators. Because creating and influencing and pushing for success, right? Pushing your message so that others can benefit from your knowledge, right? Not all the videos you're going to make is going to, help, but make them learn something each video, right? Strive to work hard, stay motivated, stay consistent, push hard. The roads of an influencer can get difficult at times. You can hit creator blocks. You know that, right? People can like certain content that you put out, and they can hate certain content that you put out. But have confidence, stay motivated. Presence is very difficult, and I think even presidents are realizing that they need influencers to 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 win campaigns, because they have ones like Kanye West, like Drake, you know what I mean, like Jay-Z. You have, Puff Daddy. You have Tyler Perry, Oprah. Not just those, but you also have Vin Diesel. You have The Rock. Like, the list goes on and on and on and on. And all of those people are all influencers. We used to watch them, growing up, doing movies, acting in shows, even doing music, all those things, right? And they sort of created our culture, right? In many ways, because, I mean, when you watch TV, what are you going to watch? You're going to watch people who, what's it called, sort of talk about things that you can relate to. That's what an influencer is. And there's so many people talking about so many different things that you can have the choice to pick which one to, you know, to go for. And so, with all these people rapping, not just rapping, singing, dancing, playing sports, we look up to so many of these actors, sports professionals. Basically, we look up to all these influencers in the celebrity position. And so, in many ways, that's what grew our culture. That's what influenced us, so that we know them. And so, the presidents use the influencers in order to get the message that they want us to hear through them. So, to me, influencers are more important than the prime minister or the president, because you you don't have so much to lose, right? Like the president, You have so much to gain, and it's a lot easier. All you have to do is push with confidence. You don't give up. You keep going. You stay motivated, right? You have that tunnel vision, like I've been saying, because at the end of the day, your focus is important to strive to elevate, to change society. You must consistently, continuously push to change. Life, in many ways, right, changes. Now it's up to you to change in a positive way. Society today looks to people who can change, who has confidence, who can influence the masses, and who can do it in a positive manner. Those things matter. I mean, your kids will look up to you, other people will look up to you. You never know who is learning from you. So when you are doing something, try to do it to the best of your ability. Once you manage to do that, you will see progression. You will start to see, positive news. Because it's like this, okay? Helping others, changing the way they think, right? Because a lot of people, like, they judge people from distance. Like, they will see somebody. This is just an example. They will see somebody and they don't really know them. This is just a metaphor. So they don't know them, but they assume, right? But until you know them, you cannot assume that this is how they are. So influencers is able to express themselves in such a way that can help others cope with the hard times, cope with laughing. They make pranks. You can talk about anything, right? As long as obviously it's regulation guidelines. But the fact that you can change people's lives, the fact that you can teach people things day in and day out, the fact that you can be broadcasted everywhere in the world if you market properly, that shows that you have the potential like a president. Except for you don't have to go through the things, because to be a president is very difficult. To become a prime minister is also very difficult. To become an official on a higher level is very difficult. But to become an influencer is much easier, right? So strive to push, to change, to help. Don't focus on, the bad days, the small bad days, but learn from them, you know, because that's how you're able to also teach others. That is how you're able to also motivate others. And power, true power, is to be able to, also conjure it to a next individual through the knowledge and wisdom that you express in your videos, or you express in your podcast specials, or you express in your books that you write, or your music that you write. All of these things help you to influence, to change people. What are you using with your God given talents? Huh? You can never be too old to do anything. Don't let that push you back as an influencer. If a president can run at 70, 80 years old, then to be on social media, to strive to push for change, to influence, that is your whole meaning of your life. What differences are you making? Because That is really important as a human being, right? Life has its ups and its downs. If you want to be great, you must have thick skin and you must have the most aggressive resilience, right? Because it's not easy. You do have competition, whether you know it or not. See what I'm saying? So you must change the way you do things. If you want to be a good influencer, you have to work on it. A lot of people see, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. Your message mainly has to be good for a good purpose. Because you don't know who can be flipping through the channels, who can be watching your video, who you can change, where you can end up. Right? You don't know that. So, I mean, you can only be great if you believe in your heart that you will do good, that every word that is coming out of your mouth is going to be positive for others. See what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we're all humans. We all have our differences, right? Some people think you're good, some people think you're not. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what do you think? What do you think you are? Because you are the one who has to face yourself, right? So motivate. And that's what you must do. So, like I said, influencer can, it's a lot easier to become, and your potential is more aggressive, better, and you can do a lot more than a president can. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Subscribe, comment, share, stream my content. Let me know what you guys think of my other content. Of course, all the other contents that I have made, all my podcast specials, my music, catalogs. Basically, let me know overall. Enjoy, the new year. I hope that everybody, is able to achieve their goals for this year. I hope all the plans that you put in place become successful, right? I hope those who think negative think more positive. Those who think they cannot be influential, they cannot, talk knowledge, they cannot help others. I hope that they can also, become confident enough to be able to help others. Everybody matter. We need to stop trying to pull each other down because we see that, misery love company. So every time when somebody's miserable, every time when somebody's portraying negativity, it becomes a muse for others. We should not be like that as a society. We should not become like that, to the world, because we have so much to offer. And so your voice matters, right? Because God will ask you. You see what I'm saying? Remember that. God will ask you. Despite what anybody say to you, ultimately, it is God that will give you the power, the authority. So look to, do great. Look to talk the truth when you can. Peace out. Bye now.